There was a few times this year when an announcer actively became perplexed at what they were seeing from an opposing team, so much so that they decided to detail it mid-broadcast, like when the Rangers announcers mocked the Mets following a really bad error.
Keeping up on the app or something. This one is flared on a hop right side, and Brazovan doesn't get to first. They throw it anyway, and that one goes into the seats. The Mets are Metsing.
And as a coaching staff, it's tough to keep your composure right now. You have to.
There was also a moment where we saw the frustration boil over from the Tigers radio announcer Dan Dickerson after his team lost an exhausting 15-inning deciding Game 5 of the ALDS, as right after he was told to do a game recap, he had this to say.
I don't have to do a game. Oh.
He's flawed. You get tired.
Fuck this game recap. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that out loud?
Why do I bring up these two specific instances? Well, because there actually is a play that basically combines the most sensational aspects of both of them, being an announcer becoming so incredulous at somebody on the opposing team that they actually sweared in their direction on air. The Cleveland Guardians were facing the White Sox on May 9th, 2022, when, with 2 outs in the top of the first and a runner on second, this happened.
There's a ball hit toward right field. Sheets coming in. Drops the ball! The Guardians will score first as Kwan comes home. Into second base is Owen Miller. And Sheets just simply botched it.
Yeah, you heard right. The Cleveland announcer literally said, "Are you bleeping me?" on live television because of how egregious this error was. I mean, just look at it. That's the kind of ball you expect to be caught 100 times out of 100 in high school. But you do have to cut the guy that was out there, Gavin Sheets, a bit of slack, because he actually was a converted first baseman who had played very little right field at this point, leading him registering at year's end -10 DRS with -4 outs above average. And this would prove to be incredibly consequential in the game overall, with this one definitely being a wild one by the end. First of all, Sheets himself nearly immediately made up for his mistake by crushing a hanging slider out to right field for a 3-run homer in the first inning. This was part of a majority of the contest where it seemed like the White Sox were going to overcome Sheets' mistake, allowing them to win a game that was relatively important for their postseason hopes, as at this time they were around 500. This included getting a little help in the 8th inning when Ahmed Rosario, another guy playing a little out of position, nearly replicated Gavin's play with a dropped fly ball before AJ Pollock crushed a 3-run home run of his own. But this game wasn't over yet. Rosario himself led off the ninth with a line drive single to left field, and then in a moment of really sloppy baseball, ended up getting all the way to third base on a throwing error from Pollock. This was immediately followed by another miscue, this one from Yoan Moncada. Still, Chicago was ahead by 4. It didn't seem like there was any immediate danger. This would remain the case until the Guardians loaded the bases with 2 outs, now with closer Liam Hendricks on the mound, and first baseman Josh Naylor at the plate. This would be the point where all those mistakes would come back to haunt them, as on the first pitch of his at-bat, he would crush a no-doubt tank deep into the night in right center, tying the game with his team down to their final breath. That's right, if any one of those 3 plays, including the one from Sheets in the first, don't happen, this moment might not either. What a terrible feeling for White Sox fans, I'm sure, and things would only get more painful for the Southsiders following this, as with the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth, Jose Ramirez dove to rob a potential game-winning hit down the third baseline, with Naylor making an excellent stretch and pick on the other end as well. And then, after trading runs in the bottom of the 10th, the White Sox would proceed to waste a bases-loaded 1-out opportunity when Moncada grounded out with the infield in, and Abreu bounced out to shortstop. This set the scene up perfectly for Naylor to come through one more time, as with 2 outs in the top of the 11th, he crushed a 3-run home run just over the wall and straightaway right, giving him 7 RBIs in just the last 3 innings, prompting him to go absolutely berserk in the dugout. And that was all she wrote. Trevor Stephan would strike out Adam Engel looking on a breaking ball to end one of the most epic wins of 2022 for Cleveland, and one of the most heartbreaking losses for a Chicago squad who, just 2 years later, would see everything they were building at the time blow up so harshly that they would register the worst season in modern baseball history.
Alright everybody, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and if you did, consider checking out any of these other videos on your screen right now for other content just like this. Also, if you ever see anything you'd like to see me detail in the video, feel free to reach out to my email, basebpoet@gmail.com, and if I end up using your idea, I'll give you a shout out. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.